Here before we start, Chief Paul Noel, Knox City, Chief of Police Tony Chris, Maryville Police Department, Director David Roush, TBI, Marshal Jolly, United States Marshal Service, Ryan Desmond, Blount County Attorney General, and Derek Newport, TBI. I got that right. You can't understand how excited I am today to tell you at 3:22 today, we arrested the man that murdered my deputy. While it's emotional right now, it's a relief to the citizens of Blount County, all over East Tennessee. It's especially a relief to his family and my deputies. I met with them at 3:30, as you know today, between 4 and 7, they're receiving friends. I was there when they got there, and I walked in, and that's actually we had anything they needed that the sheriff's office could provide. Then I told them, when I came back and saw them tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the funeral, he would be in air jail if there's any way possible, and God willing. And guess what? He's in air jail, and there's so many people I want to thank. These people right here, they're here, but there's hundreds of others, agencies from across the state that didn't come, that offered to come, but this is a joint effort. General Desmond said the other day he had never been around this large of a multi-jurisdictional, multi-agency manhunt, what we have now. And I can't give credit to any one person. It was a 100% team effort. And to have a network in the state of Tennessee of law enforcement that will work together to bring justice to an individual that committed a crime, especially one that killed a law enforcement officer in cold blood. I want to thank you again. The media has been very, very patient. I said that the other day with me and with the sheriff's office and with this case, and we appreciate that. With the time we were going to, we tried to relay the information as soon as we got it. And I'm going to take some questions if y'all, I'll answer what I can, and obviously I can't, some issues.
Sheriff, John Becker with WBIR. Can you tell us the circumstances and what led you to the arrest today?
Well, it was a combined techniques, investigative techniques, a number of things that led it. It wasn't just one thing. But as you know, we have not left this building. They haven't left this building since last Thursday night. But to give you the actual details, it was a number of issues that led us and got us on the case and got us on the trail, and it concluded today.
Was it a tip, and will anyone receive any reward money?
No, we had a number of tips, and some of them in areas, but none that said he's in that house. But we did have a few people, not as many as we thought, that came in with accurate tips.
We have seen, so it sounds like no one will receive reward money in this case.
It does not appear to be that.
We have seen a number of people, 2 people that we know of arrested for helping this fugitive. Do you expect any other arrests in this case?
If we can identify anybody that helped assist or harbor him, they will be arrested and charged.
Sheriff, you expressed it before, but your number one goal was to apprehend this fugitive for your community and for your fellow officers. Can you express what it was like to break that news to the people in this department?
Just watching them and seeing their emotions and what they've been through for a number of days. We haven't had time to grieve, John. We're doing this, but our main focus is this. Now we can go to the funeral tomorrow with a family and sit there and grieve with them without having to say, well, we need to be doing this or that. Was I excited? Were they excited? Were they emotional? Absolutely. Hours upon hours, following lead after lead, and we knew one would be the right eventually, and it was.
Sheriff, can you talk to us about the suspect's connection to the residence? Was there anyone else with him?
The residence, when we went in, was empty. That's all I will say on that.
Was it his home?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Did he remain in East Tennessee while you guys were looking for him?
there's a void there, I think so, but there's possibly he could have went to another state. But I think he stayed here. But we don't have there's a day or two that we kind of lost contact or any tips or anything. But I think he mainly was here.
There is some possibility that he may have momentarily crossed the state line into another state, but then quickly returned. We haven't confirmed that, but it appears that most of his movements throughout the 5-day period were all confined to this area of East Tennessee.
Sheriff, did the suspect put up any resistance during this arrest?
No, we were sure he was in the house based on some information. The SWAT team used some diversionary tactics. He came out the back. There's a large pit bulldog there. We were able to get to him. We couldn't take him back through the house because we hadn't cleared the house. We didn't know if no one else was in there or was a threat. So we had to go over a fence and cuffed him with my deputies handcuffed. And Greg would be, I think, appreciative of that. We had to get him back over a large fence. Again, we couldn't go take him back until our teams had cleared that residence.
So just so we understand, Sheriff, you did use Deputy McCowan's handcuffs.
Yes, sir, we did.
Sheriff, Samantha Coburn, News Nation. Who was the arresting agency? What was the arresting agency?
There's too many to name. Was my people there with the SWAT team? Yes. Knox City, Knox County, Marshall Service, TBI, on and on and on.
What did he say when y'all finally captured him?
I wasn't there, unfortunately.
And when will he be in court?
He will be in court. I've got it. Thursday at 9.
Sheriff Lexi Lefoff, WVLT News. I know you said he's appearing in court on Thursday. We just saw him get transported out of here. Can you disclose to us where he's at now?
I'd rather not know. He's in another facility. You saw the large caravan that we took him out of here. We wanted to come and book him, as he should be, in Blount County Jail. Then that might not be the only jail there. Wherever we take him will probably be moved periodically, but he is not in our facility.
Why was he moved?
Do what?
Why was he moved?
He killed one of my deputies. I didn't want any appearance that if something happened that it was air fault or air doing.
Sheriff, could you tell us what part of the Knoxville area he's found in?
Around Linden Avenue.
And Sheriff, we understand that the decision will fall to the District Attorney General about whether this is a death penalty case moving forward. What do you want to see?
I want the death penalty. I want to go. But it'll be his, General Desmond's decision.
In general, may we hear from you about how you'll make that decision and when?
I will have a discussion with the family at the appropriate time, and I will make that decision in the not too distant future.
I'm sorry, could you just step up to the mic? I'm
Sure.
sorry.
I will speak with the family first and foremost. I will explain the entire legal process to them, and then I will make a decision after taking into account my discussions with them in the not too distant future.
Days or weeks, sir?
I would say weeks, certainly, yes, not months.
And I know you said you were with the family and you were able to tell them. What was that interaction like? What did they say?
When I was telling, you talking about with that we had him in custody?
Yes, sir.
I was not there. I was here. I left there, then came over and continued to be a part of the investigation and manhunt.
So, do you know what the family said when they found out?
They were very, very emotional and very pleased.
And the other deputy that was injured, what was it like telling her?
I haven't told her. I'm sure they have. I met with her last night for about 30, 40 minutes. Got to talk to her. First time I really had an interaction, and it was a pleasant conversation, and she's going to get through this.
How's she doing?
She's going to get through this. I'm very proud of her, way she has not only acted on scene, but how she has responded. Every day gets a little better, and she's doing good. I had a great conversation with her.
Sheriff, I heard a rumor that the arresting officers went from the site where he was arrested to the receiving of friends. Is that correct?
Well, we transported him back, and yes, they They were asked to go over there, and the family wanted them there, and others from different agencies that was a part of this whole investigation. And they walked through there, and I wasn't there, but it took them a while to get the family. They kind of parted it, let them through, but the hugs and congratulations in the family was very emotional.
Sheriff, what do you think about the outpouring of the community over the past month?
Talked to that before. It's absolutely amazing. Even when we transported out here, people blowing their horn, waving, clapping. To have this type of support in my county, in my state, in my region, I can't say enough about that. We are so blessed to live in Tennessee.
And Sheriff, the house you said was empty. Did it look like anybody was living there? Was it just an empty?
I'm not going to get into the details of that. Yes, we arrested him on that street, and no one was there when we went in. Those things will follow. And I will go ahead and say this. I haven't released the tape, and y'all been very patient with me on that, the body cam. And I'm not going to do that until we get through the funeral, and I'm going to talk to the family. They're going to have an option to see it before anybody else sees it in the public. Then I will release that in the very near future.
Sheriff, you did characterize that body cam video, though, before,
Yes.
saying that when the public views it, you
Yes.
think it speaks for itself.
Absolutely. And it's emotional. And there's different angles of it. We had 2 body cams, 2 cruisers. Some you heard on the voice, and you can see action, but on the other body cam, you can hear their voice. And it's rather lengthy. But I just ask everybody to look all the way through it, start to finish, and you'll see the totality of the story.
Sheriff, was this suspect known to
Yes.
authorities? And what was that sort of, how did you guys know of him and
Well, he's been in the criminal justice system before.
Sheriff Ron Willis with Knoxville. Can you share at what point Knoxville Police Department got involved in this, and whether or not it was, if he was linked to Knoxville before you got?
Well, they had been involved from the day it started. Chief Noel had called me to offer assistance, and we accepted, obviously. We needed help. We were in a grieving process at a funeral, and this is regional. He was in a number of different counties in this region. But not only that, we asked him to send patrolmen over. Last night they worked, a number of nights they would send and work night shift for us, so my guys that wasn't on this case could grieve some.
I guess was it ever that he was in Knoxville, or did you get directed to a specific location?
He was here, maybe not. It was chasing a rabbit for a while, so to speak. But he would pop up here, pop up there, and some of it could be confirmed and some couldn't. So for me to say we knew for a fact, we really didn't until recently.
Sheriff, the public is wanting to know what they can do to support his family, Deputy McCowan's family, and your department. What would you tell them?
Number one, pray. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for continuing to have prayers for us. And Greg McCowan, pray for him, his soul, pray for his family, his children, his mother, his father, all his family, number one. If you choose to support, they're going to need some support financial. And we have set up some things that Chief Crisp has spent all day today. Seti, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. We hope it'll be in place tomorrow. We worked with a law firm here in town to set up a memorial trust. It's going to be at Citizens Bank of Blount County. I'd ask that you don't rush there immediately. The sheriff will be making a release on that. We were trying to get it sealed up today, but we fully expect by tomorrow we'll have it operational. It'll be a memorial trust fund that will support his children, and if they choose to do college or whatever they may choose to do, and there'll be a trust set up to govern that. But more to come on that for sure.
And I saw his granddaughter, though they just cute her in a bug, and I just looked at her, and she'll never get to know a great human being in her grandfather, and Greg was.
Sheriff, also, I know today between the funeral home and the church that there was a procession and another one planned tomorrow. He just described what you're expecting in terms of the magnitude of what different agencies coming
Again, go back to East Tennessee, go back to this area. I think it'll be very large. We will escort his body tomorrow again from the Smith Mortuary to the church, Sevier Heights. Then we'll come back with a procession to Grandview Cemetery.
Sheriff, is it possible to quantify the number of tips you guys have received over the course of this investigation?
Thousands. Chief.
Exactly. Yeah, so obviously, throughout.
I'm the chief director.
No, he knows me as chief. I answer anything to him, so. Obviously, we've had a number of tips, over the since Thursday, working through this. And so, we're appreciative of every tip we've got, right? Not all of them led to anything, sustainable or usable, but there were things that we certainly were able to follow up on and utilize. Information is key in these investigations, and so this is certainly the capture was critical. The teams continue to work because there's more to be done, right? We've got to now figure out all of the space in between. We've got to figure out what he did during the days that we didn't have him in custody. And so we've got to get all that information now. And so that's the investigative process continues. It hasn't stopped. And again, all of our partners working through this, it's been amazing. Local, state, federal agencies that have been engaged in this, the number of officers, agents, deputies, it's countless. And the hours that have put in has been unbelievable, 24/7 since this happened. And it's been sustained by just great strength with all of them. I can tell you that the focus now, of course, is to start piecing everything together so that we're able to build a strong case for the DA, so that whatever route that the DA chooses to take with it, that he has full confidence that he has the information that's necessary for the prosecution for whatever it is in terms of what the results that they will seek. And so we're excited for the Blount County family. We're excited for this state and that we've got this individual and no one else has been harmed.
Director Roush, has law enforcement retrieved or recovered the firearm that they believe was used in the shooting?
So we are still searching, still looking for evidence at this point. So we have a number of firearms that we have collected, and so we're still working toward that goal. We certainly would like to have that weapon, but at this point we have not confirmed that we have it in our custody.
So you're still waiting on ballistics reports to know whether or not
Yes.
have the firearm?
We are testing every firearm that we have taken, and so we'll continue to do that. And we're still collecting evidence. I mean, even as of today, we were collecting evidence at the scene itself, and so we'll continue until we are confident that we've got all the evidence.
Director, do you have any idea why, if he already crossed state lines, why come back to an area that's clearly inundated with law enforcement, media, so on and so forth?
Yeah, if I had the answer to that, it was, so that's still a standing question. Even the question of why would you do what he did, right? Why would you kill a deputy, right? Clearly, this is an individual that that has the rational thought that I have, and so I would tell you that's something we'll have to determine during our investigation. But it's probably familiar ground. We see that typically in most cases, is that individuals will try to stay close to what they know. And my guess is that's probably close to what happened here.
And what next for the investigation? What's the next 3 steps?
Sure. So steps right now, we've obtained a search warrant for the house that he was at, where he was taken into custody, and so we'll search that residence. As I understand, that's underway. And so we'll do that search, and then it's trying to figure out where he has been, so that we can determine. I heard a question earlier: is there anyone else that might face charges? Well, we'll figure that out. If there were others that participated in his evasion of law enforcement, absolutely, they'll be brought forward.
For people who are not familiar with the terrain in the area, how far apart were where you found his vehicle and where he was apprehended? And what is that terrain like? And when you say cross state lines, what is that terrain like?
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that he was traveling in vehicles. He was not on foot. And so clearly others were assisting. And so, you know, it's interstates, it's you know, state highways, it's back roads, you know, so it's, but he wasn't on foot. He was in a vehicle. He's been in probably several vehicles, and those will be of interest to us as well as we continue the investigation.
Director, when you say he crossed into state lines, is that a general belief, or is there a specific state that you will be crossing into?
Yeah, so, you know, at this point, you know, I think there's some belief that he may have gone into Georgia. We have not confirmed that, right? And so there's still a lot of work being done to analyze the information we have, you know. So I think another important piece to this investigation that's critical is that, you know, the utilization of technology by law enforcement, by policing, is vital. And so, you know, I don't want to turn this into politics, but I want to make sure that those who make those decisions understand that, right? That technology is critical, and we need it, especially in these types of cases. And it was technology that helped us in this effort. And so, you know, I would absolutely caution those who make our laws and who draw up the rules to understand, be careful with how they address technology for law enforcement use, because when you need it, and we needed it, and it helped us.
What was the most notable tool when you talk about technology in terms of?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, clearly, and it's no secret, yeah, cell phone technology that we utilize is critical in these types of cases, and so that was a critical tool for us.
Is that something that led you to him, his cell phone?
It was not harmful. It helped. That's what I can say. It helped. Marshall? Let me do what I can to, without losing everything here. Whoop.
Yep. So,
I got it. Thank you,
doing a little balancing action. Was there a specific question that somebody had?
Just explain the role of the marshals in this, if you would.
The role of the U.S. Marshals is to catch the fugitive. So our role in this investigation ended at 3:22 p.m. this afternoon, about 38 minutes before the visitation started at 4 o'clock. That was an awesome feeling, and can't tell you how much awesome that was to be able to be in the room with some of these folks, and particularly their command staff as we were together, and that we received that confirmation from our teams in the field that he was under arrest. And now Blount County and the community, the Sheriff's Department, all the law enforcement community here, the citizens here can now move on to the next step, the grieving process, and over the next couple of days.
And Marshall, I may have missed this in another question, but who was the lead at the scene today? Was it you, or was it Knoxville Police, or? Well,
it was like everybody here has said, it's very much a team effort. The fugitive part of the investigation was led by the U.S. Marshals, but we also had everybody else working together. In all of my years of doing this job, which is many, 41 as a matter of fact, I've seen a lot of great collaborative team efforts out there during the years. I will have to say that this one probably topped them all. This might have been the best collaborative effort between all the agencies that were working, because a lot of the efforts were in Blount County and Knox County. When we went to Knox County, we had tremendous help from the Knox County Sheriff's Department, the Knoxville Police Department. TBI was with us on every step of the way through this investigation. We all have different roles to some degree in the investigation, and you know, they're analysts helping us in their analysts are amazing, all the work that they did during to keep when you've got this much information coming in, we had a lot of tips, as the director said, hundreds to thousands maybe of tips that came in. Now, a lot of those tips were not fruitful in any way, but you still, it takes it's a lot of work trying to sort through all of this incoming information, and their analysts, we had other analysts from other agencies that were also FBI and others that were also helping sort through all of those tips coming in and determine if there was any nuggets of information, I like to say sometimes, that might have helped us in this investigation. But at the end of the day, what happened this afternoon when the teams moved to Knoxville and moved in on Mr. DeHart, that was through the hard work of these investigators that are out there that are not sitting in this room, but all of our investigators, agents, deputy marshals that were there. It was through their hard work, and they moved, working together, moving in, but all the work that they did through all the various investigative techniques is what put this together. We didn't receive that major tip from the public that said he's right here. We had to put that together and descend on him this afternoon. It's quite amazing when you have that much reward money out there that somebody didn't, but it's quite obvious, and we know there were people that were assisting him during this time. My personal opinion, that's why he came back to here, because he had his best resources right here to help him stay on the run. And they tried to do that for a period of time. But as always, we will catch up. And today, in day 5 of the investigation, we did.
Marshall, between the point that how long was it between the point that you had confirmation that he was in the home and the point of arrest?
Pretty quickly, really. When we moved to Knoxville this afternoon on this investigation, the focus became narrowed down to this particular house. Then once we weren't at that location very long at all, really, before we were able to identify Mr. DeHart when he walked out the back door of the house, and the arrest teams moved in on him at that time.
Did he cooperate? Did he fight?
Fairly, basically, no. He really didn't put up any kind of major fight. Yeah, maybe a slight little, but no substantial fight.
So the arrest was made in the backyard?
In the backyard, right.
Do you get a sense of how long he may have been at the house?
That we do not know at this particular time. We know that during this investigation, he's moved around a lot of ducking, hiding, moving from one location to the next location to the next location. So he may have been in and out of that location a few times during the 5 days and then reappeared back there today. We're not totally sure how long he was there today when this happened. We actually do not think that he was probably at that house that long today. So.
Did he go out the back door because he realized y'all were in the front, or was it just happenstance he walked out the back door?
I think it was just happenstance that he just walked out, which gave us the opportunity to identify him.
Was there a flashbang? Did y'all break in the...
There were flashbangs deployed in the backyard, and partly because of a dog. He had a large pit bull back there, so to try to scare the dog away. So.
Okay. We appreciate you all very, very, very much. Again, keep my Deputy Edgar in our dear prayers, and she, along with Deputy McCowan's family and his soul. Thank you so much.